So talking about ease of creation, I'm just going to talk about a quick high level couple of things. The way I see our platform, or at least our tooling platform, Spark Studio, is that it's like layered complexity, right? So uh, there is a there's a way to like build a tool which works for both uh, early users or people who are new to a platform or don't have that much experience, and also works for people who are more advanced users, right? So in a way, what we're doing is we're taking the complexity and we're layering it, and we're saying that you can start with at a first level, you can start with a scene tree and an inspector, and you can drop in an object or a tracker. It could be face tracker, it could be hand tracker. So essentially, the capability part, right? Like taking that and then adding it to your thing, it takes just a couple of minutes. Second layer is patch editor. So patch editor is essentially like our node-based graph where you can create like sort of visual programming sequences. And as again, this is like kind of driven to the point where we want to not everybody is a developer, right? Not everybody knows scripting, and so for people who are less familiar with that, they can use this to get started. And we've seen people create some really complicated like sort of sequence of patches for animation, for visual shading, for all sorts of things. And it's really nice to see that being the case. And I'll talk about sort of how you can abstract these things out further through patch graph and through blocks. And then we have scripting, which is like more for advanced users. So essentially, we have JavaScript for people who are familiar with that. They can add additional layers of complexity. They can build a library. They can have sort of, if you wanted to build a game, you could do that with scripting. So those are the three layers of complexity. Like I mentioned before, patch editor. We have a new UI for it with a host of new features. I highly recommend using it. Connecting the nodes is really easy. It's like dragging and dropping the pointer. Blocks essentially is something that we're also really excited about. The way we see blocks playing out is essentially, as people create more long form of AR content, like bigger like bigger AR applications, bigger AR effects, um, it becomes incredibly complicated to manage every portion of the effect, right? Just like you build a software and then you try to modularize your software, right? So what we've done here is that uh, we've created blocks, which is essentially sort of a small kind of effect in its own way, and you can include it, and it's parameterizable in your effect, and you can share it, and it improves collaboration and reusability of your components, right? So uh, that's how we've thought about it. I just have a quick video to show you what it is. So here you will see like there is a game block. If you see on the top right hand side, game.block. And essentially what we've done is somebody created this block. Let's say they shared it with me, or I don't know, amongst friends or something. And then essentially I've just like added, like there are two parameterizable things here. One is the character sprite and one is the building sprite, right? And I just replaced one with the cat and one with the building, uh, and it's done, right? Like, so essentially all of the complexity is abstracted away from you. Um, Whoever built the block in the first place is the one building it, and we do see that turning into an entire ecosystem, right, in itself, right, where people are building blocks and sharing them, or or figuring out how to monetize it. um, and then there is like you can see the patch editor thing. So through patch editor, I'm able to connect two different blocks. So there's the game and then there's the score. And essentially score itself is uh, you know again parameterizable. So